we'd have these conversations. I respect everybody where they're at in life. It's fine. But the reason why doctors and I would have these amazing conversations, because I'd say, look, 25 years, I've not been ill once. 25 years. Not had a flu, a cold, a headache, a migraine, not had an x-ray, an ultrasound, a hospital visit, or a GP visit for 25 years. And I don't take medicine, right? I think, like, how do you do that? How do you do that? I said, it's so simple. It's easy. I'm like, how then? I'm like, look, what you think is the air around you, it's not air. It seems like air. And in the school books, they tell you, 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, and so on and so on. But to you as a human, you don't care about that. What matters to you is the benefit that you can derive from this, not the features, the benefits. Okay, Raj, what's the benefits? Right? Okay, well, first of all, the components of this air, this space, is light, electricity, and magnetism. Light, electricity, and magnetism. Now, when you harness and channel this through the brain, through breathing methods, you start to enliven and enlighten a lot of your brain capacity that you never saw before, that you never knew even existed. Now, a lot of people have these fantastic philosophical and spiritual debates, like, well, why do so few humans use, why don't they use much of their brain? Because they've not been taught how to do that. And why is that? Oh, because you're in a Rockefeller 9-to-5 wage slave idea. They don't want you to become powerful. They don't want you to become autonomous. They want you stuck in the system. I'm like, how complicated does this get? When you go down the rabbit hole, you realize, oh, hang on. So the Almighty of the universe owns everything, including us. He designed us. He owns everything. But he wants his children to be happy because we're all his children, right? So if he wants us all to be happy, why should we lack health, wealth, and happiness of relationships with our wives, our moms, our dads, our kids, our neighbors? Why are we lacking happiness in abundance in all these things if it belongs to our Father? Then you start realizing, because the system wants you controlled. It's trying to straitjacket you into a limited idea of yourself. But then you say to yourself, well, what if I don't want? What if I don't accept that limited idea of myself? Then what? Well, then you're going to be a revolutionary then.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
rebel.
In your own life. Yeah. And you were talking about the programming we have in our minds, where it restricts. The thing about breathing is very interesting, isn't it? I think I've had lots of conversations with people who are just not conscious of their breathing, that the breathing just happens. Would you like to tell a bit about these incredible methods you've found with breathing?
Absolutely. So it's like, when people go through a midlife crisis in their maybe 30s or 40s or 50s, some tragedy happens, as it always does in life, and you hit a wall, and you're like, what have I been doing all this time? Why am I thinking that way? Why am I behaving that way? Why is things not going well? And you have to retroactively look at your life from the beginning and say, there's something fundamental I've been missing, isn't it? What is it? What is that? And you've been hoodwinked by a society, by a materialistic culture that has deliberately distracted you away from your fundamental nature. So this is why